Hello, everybody,
Hi.
and welcome to the end of Book 2 Beta. Sort of. I mean, I guess technically tomorrow is, but it is, for all intents and purposes, the end. It has been quite a month, and I think that we can all agree that we have learned a lot of things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Namely that I'm not doing it again.
Wait
I'm
a
never,
minute.
but like, well,
You'll change your mind
what
in a
was
year.
I thinking?
You're right. There you go. But yes, so I am joined today with Merritt, Margaret, and Becky, some of the collab partners that kind of decided to go on this crazy journey with me this month. And yeah, we had a lot of fun, and it was like really good to have that group chat because we were able to kind of encourage and support each other, and through the technical difficulties and the
Several
motivation to
technical
film and everything like that, and the sicknesses that we've been getting.
Mm-hmm.
So we have had our difficulties, but it's been a lot of fun. So why don't you guys introduce yourself? We'll start with Merritt.
Sure. So hi, my name is Merritt. I'm online as Merritt Worthy, but on YouTube I'm fictional, not fantasy, just carrying that one over through the age. I talk about RPGs, things like LARPing, D&D, but also comics and obviously books, but movies are a bigger thing for me. I just realized this is on. Hold on. But yeah, so if you like nerdy things and want to talk about superheroes and Umbrella Academy, come find me.
I am Margaret, and I have the channel The Word Nerd, as is in my title. I talk about books. I talk about writing. I sometimes dabble in comics because I just love comic books. I just don't read enough of them. But primarily my genres are like fantasy, a little bit of sci-fi, and then a whole bunch of other stuff. Like I'll throw other stuff in as we go through the month. But
Very cool. Becky.
Hi, I'm Becky. I'm from Coffee, Cocktails, and Books. I mostly do like your traditional booktube stuff. I have my own TBR game that I'm doing a different one for September. I'm pretty sure many of you guys know about Becca's Bookopoly, and so named twins have to do it. Can't help myself. I mostly read fantasy and contemporary romance books, but I've been dabbling in thrillers a lot, and that is slowly becoming my new favorite thing. So.
Me too.
So yeah, and I am super ready for the spooky season, as you guys can all see today.
I'm so excited.
I'm like, guess what? Tuesday is fall. Nobody can tell me otherwise.
It's true. My birthday's in a couple of weeks. I'm like, for my birthday, I deem it to be fall.
Exactly.
I love
that.
Exactly.
I wish Florida worked that way.
I mean, even Utah doesn't work that way. Although we're supposed to have a cold front like coming this week, so we're ready for it.
We'll have like
it's too humid.
we'll have like 2 days of cold at a time when you get into like December, January, February, and then like that's what we've been doing the last couple of years. Is we'll have 2 days of cold, and then it'll be back to normal Florida temperatures, and so you never get used to it. So you're either freezing or you're sweating, and I'm just like, I'm over this. But I also can't survive anywhere that there is actual cold weather.
See, I just moved from
need a place
California
that
back.
Right. No, I need a place that has 4 seasons. Like I need the colors changing, and then cold, and then warm. And then you can appreciate them all.
Yeah, no, I just moved back to seasons, and it was like 98 a couple of days ago, and now it's like getting cold. I'm like, oh my gosh, is this it? Is it happening? Is it happening? It's been like 3 years since I've last experienced that.
This is like this. We're in the weird part of being in a state where it's like you have 4 seasons, where it's like, oh, you're going to get the storm weather now. So it's going to feel like fall, and then it's going to be hot as heck again in a couple of weeks.
Right.
And it's going to just fake you out like 2 or 3 times before it finally commits.
Yeah. Margaret, did you get hurricane weather, or were you far enough east to not?
So we've had what's called a tropical depression sitting over us the last couple of days, but we didn't get any like hurricane stuff. Okay. It's just been really rainy. Like it's raining right. You can't see out the window, but it is raining right now. Like literally out my window. It's been dark as heck. It was light enough for me to film my TBR, and it's been dark since then.
Oh no.
So I don't mind it. I like rainy weather. I grew up in it. It makes me happy.
Okay. Yeah, I miss rainy weather. We don't get a lot of it. So, all right. Well, I have a few questions to ask you guys about how the month went.
Okay.
And then we'll just kind of do more of like a discussion and we'll just kind of talk about things and have a little wrap-up party. So we talked about at the beginning, and I think a lot in the announcement videos for most of us, we talked about the reasons why we wanted to do Veda. And there's obviously we have like these personal goals that we want to achieve, whether that be subscriber count or just like improving, the consistency, whatever it is. One of the things that we talked about was like just being consistent and being able to let YouTube know that we're being consistent. We can never really tell what the YouTube algorithm is going to do and what videos it's going to pick up and what it isn't. So we can't really help with that other than just trying to maintain consistency. And that was one of the things that we had talked about at the beginning of the month, was just improving the amount of times that we're filming, making YouTube a priority, making our channel a priority, and then forming just those personal habits of, okay, like it's Saturday, we filmed today type of thing. So how do you think that you guys did with the goals that you set at the beginning of the month?
I lasted longer than I thought I was going to before the first day that I missed. That is my biggest pat on the back to me. I think I lasted 10 days before I had to skip one due to issues. So I'm like, okay, I was giving myself 5. So
Right.
Yeah.
got to that. Although this last week, you would not know I was doing Veda since I was working on my own like readathon stuff. So like I think I've uploaded twice this whole week.
I don't think I've uploaded since technically Thursday was an upload, but I decided that today's video is not going out either. I'm just like, I don't have the mental acuity to do this.
Right.
It's not happening.
Right.
I'm burnt out.
Well, and I think that that's part of the learning experience.
Yeah.
Like, that we knew going into this that it was going to be difficult, but I think that there's also that time where you have to realize that, like, okay, this is my limit. I can't do anymore. I can't like put out quality content.
Yeah.
Because the last thing we want to do is put out something crappy or that we don't feel like we're engaged in that. No one's gonna watch it, and then we're gonna lose subscribers.
No, exactly. I know I had a few days where like I didn't have a good idea. Like the video did not come out the way I wanted to, so I was gonna have to like redo it. Because of my computer issues, my entire Scallywagathon vlog, I spent like 3 or 4 hours editing. I had to scrap the entire thing because I kept crashing my computer to export it. So that was wasted time. So it's like little things like that. I'm like, I'm not gonna create like a crappy like video, and I mean I want to give an example, but I want to like knock people that do this type of video, but like just like a crappy video I don't care about that just felt like a filler, and so people watching this is like, oh, you put this out in 10 minutes, didn't you? It shows.
Right because there were definitely a couple of those where I would be like, oh, I haven't filmed, I need a video to go up tomorrow morning, I'll just sit down and talk about something, and like I think I can tell in my energy levels, and I mean I'm pretty good actor in the fact that like I can try to hide it and mask it, but like I know that it's bad.
I think I've only ever had one video like that where like I'm like, oh man, you can tell I didn't want to be here with this video. Not this month, but like when I channel. But that's because I'm used to doing that. I miss doing that to some extent, is being someone else on camera. Like I'm myself, but I'm like a heightened version of myself on camera. But yeah, I just got to the point this last week that I was like, yes, I can put in, I can do the video, I can make the video, but what's the toll going to be on me personally to have to sit here and edit something that while it will look good, I just don't want to do it right now.
Right.
Like I'd rather take some time to recoup and be able to have the energy to put Wednesday's video up than have to worry about like, because let's get this video up that I can, like, it's a video that I can put up at any time. It doesn't matter. Like I can save it for when I need it.
Right.
So maybe
and that was the thing, especially that I was dealing with this weekend. Like you don't really get a recoup set. Like, you don't get to reset because next week starts those beginning of month videos, like your wrap ups and your stars and your hauls or whatever it is that you normally do at the beginning of the month. Like on any given month, that first week is usually pretty jam-packed.
Yeah.
That are like more intensive. Like wrap-up videos for me are the hardest thing for me to
Yeah.
do. I'm not looking forward to doing my August wrap-up.
Neither am I, but I like that's one of the ones where like it's a slog for me to get through the video because of all of the editing and the stuff that I add on top of it. Because if you don't watch my channel, what I do is I will give my thoughts, but I also film a little like clip of what the summary is that kind of changes things up for the video. And I love how it turns out. I just hate having to put it together.
Actually do it. I know.
It's one of those things that like the reward is great enough that I'm like, I don't freaking want to do this, but I'm gonna do it anyways because it's like a workout. It's like working out.
Exactly. No, and Brayden, I'm sure you can support this like with the TBR games. Like they're so much fun to do. They look so fun.
Yes.
Like filming and editing process behind the scenes.
Oh, that footage is all sitting in on my computer, like just staring at me, and I'm like, I'll do it tomorrow. I'll do it
for the wheel, normally I screen record when I film it, and I just like let the whole thing go when I'm picking books. So it's like an hour of raw footage. For Bookopoly, I filmed my rolls on the board, and I don't have dice. I have like a screen recording of virtual dice, my board, which I made in my bullet journal, and now I have to later when we're done with this, I'm going to actually film like what books I'm picking. So it's like it's process. It's fun.
Yeah. No,
it's
I had the physical, like, almost heart attack yesterday when I went to go film that because I couldn't find my letter dice from reorganizing my shelf.
Oh no.
Like, I found it because I remember being like, oh, I need to put this in a special place while I'm reorganizing my shelves so that I don't lose it.
Yeah.
And then I didn't remember where that place was. So
the special places always like they either hurt you or harm you. There's no in between.
Yeah.
That's why I have a dish for all of my memory cards, and that's where they go because I got tired of like, where is my memory card right before I filmed every time. I was like, no, this is where they go. This is their home.
I just keep mine in my computer. Like it has a little slot. I put it in here, and then when I need to go film, I take it out of my computer. I will never lose it.
I have 3 of them. And no slot in my computer. I actually have to have a little USB drive thing.
I have more. I just only ever really use one.
Yeah. No,
see, go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say technically I have one for like my main videos. I have one for vlogs and one for B-roll. Do I stick to that? No, I'm terrible at it.
That seems like a lot to like keep track of.
That seems way too organized.
Right. No, kind of like with the whole processing. I know that this month, because like Brandon, you called me out on Twitter about what priorities. Like, wait, weren't you supposed to read priorities? Like, don't call me out like that. I don't do that to me. Don't do it. No, because like the biggest problem is that like because like I work until 6, and then I would have like chores or stuff I have to do afterwards, like grocery shopping, laundry, that type of fun stuff. Dogs. Logan was sick this 2 weeks ago, so like I had to go deal with that a lot and like vet appointments. And then it's like, all right, getting the next day's video out since I couldn't always pre-film as much as I wanted to. Next I know it's like 11:30. I'm like, do I read for 30 minutes or do I
edit a video? Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Like, because I have to wake up for work and then like overtime and all the other fun stuff. So it's like I don't want to admit how bad I did on my wheel books of last month, but let's just say I have a punishment this month.
Okay, well, so on that note, I'm gonna make you call yourself out.
Okay.
For everybody, we talked about this on Merits yesterday, but we are booktube channels. How did our reading go this month?
Better. Okay. Actually, not that bad. Let me count.
Because I actually had the best reading month I've had all year. I finished my 16th book last night.
I have finished 13 books. I'm in the middle of 2. And only 3 or 4 of them were wheel books because dumb me did not put any of Twilight on my wheel.
So you set yourself up for failure reading those 5 books. Or 6 books.
Because I read... So 6 books that I read this month were not on my wheel. So love that for me. And there was room for them too. Like I'm looking back at the prompts. I'm like, why?
Why did I do this?
Why do I hate myself?
Right. I was freaking out a little bit because like getting into towards at least like the second half of the month, I think I had only read 2 from my categories, and I was like, what am I doing? I have to get this done. And so like I literally like made a calendar up and being like, okay, on these 2 days I'm reading this book, and then this day I'm reading this book.
No, I mean, like what's also slowing me down. So I'm reading Nevernight. That's one of the books I'm in the middle of. I am annotating it, aggressively annotating it all the way through. So like that's drastically slowing down because like I could have finished it a week ago if I just listened to it, but instead I'm like listening to it at like in 50-page chunks during the annotation. So like that's slowing it down a whole bunch too.
Yeah.
How did your reading go?
Was that Merritt or Margaret?
Yeah, I didn't hear that.
Oh, Margaret, sorry.
I finished 8 books so far. I don't think I'm finishing any more, which I wish I really sat down and thought about that like last night when I could have written my wrap up, but I didn't have time to film my wrap up today because I've been watching TV. Anyways, I did pretty well because I did a couple of rereads. And I read some good books. I'm happy. Like, it's not my best reading month ever, but I still like enjoyed what I read for the most part. There were only 2 that I was like, why?
Right.
And there weren't even there were 3. And they weren't even big. Like, there was only one truly disappointing book for me this month. The others I was just like, this could have been done a little better.
Right.
But, yeah.
I'm trying to think of like as far as quality, I think it was like kind of all over the place.
Yeah.
Yeah, same.
You read Twilight too. So you because like it started out other than Hank Green's book, which was like 5-star, and then everything else was like 2-star, 3-star, 2-star. And I'm like, what is happening?
Yeah, no, I have 3, 2, 1, 3, 3, 3.5, 3.5, 4, 4, 5, 2, 5.
Let's see. I have 3, 5, 3. That one I'm still reading. 5, 3, and then 5 and 5.
Not bad, yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I have to say 2 of those were rereads.
Yeah.
And one of them was Talia Hibbert, which we knew was going to be 5 stars.
Oh, there you go.
I
finished your other book yesterday.
I was gonna say I have technically 1 book read, not even because I started it and literally almost finished it in July. I listened to like maybe the last like 15 minutes of it in August.
Nice.
And it was like the short story Opal that follows the Raven cycle. That was it. That's all I finished. I started like 4 other books and I just have not been able to like get through any of them. So that's where I've been.
Well, in your defense, you were sick for like a week and a half. And that, like, I mean, I know when I'm sick,
yes.
like, I don't read anything. I'm just like, I can't focus on that.
It's weird because, like, I have to be in a very particular mood to physically read nowadays. And I don't usually find myself in that mood and also wanting to sit still. So if I do read, I'm in my car just listening to audiobooks, and most of my time now is taken up by podcasts. So
Please check out Night Swim by Megan Golden. There's a podcast element, and it's so good. Huge trigger and content warnings. I will link them so Brianna doesn't get demonetized. I know the words will get you demonetized, but it's amazing. I read it in one sitting, and the podcast element of the audiobook sounds like an actual podcast. Sound effects, sound mixing, everything. Amazing.
Have you read Sadie?
No.
By Courtney Summers that has the same thing.
This is basically the adult Sadie.
Ooh, nice. Yeah, no, that's like Sadie has it's a podcast, and then it's like the sister of the person that the podcast is about, like trying to find her sister.
Ooh.
It's fascinating. If you like podcasts, like, and I also like the audiobook, sounds really good. I'm waiting to see if The Night Swim shows up on either Hoopla or Scribd as an audio. Definitely.
I know for Hoopla, her books don't show up or take a while to show up, so I'll hold out for Scribd.
I'm pretty sure Scribd had the escape room because I remember listening because I was reading it physically and then finished it on audio. So hopefully, because the escape room is really good as an audiobook too.
Yeah, I love that one as an audiobook. This one's way better.
Yeah. Cool. That's good to know. because I'm reading it in September. So, like, spoiler alert for like my TBR. It's going up on Tuesday.
Okay, so
All right. So let me pull up my questions again. So tell me what your favorite video that you put up this month was. Whether that's
You expect me to remember what videos I put up this month?
Like, whether that be like how you think it turned, like you think it turned out really well, or did you like the process of doing it? Whatever your criteria for best video is.
Okay, I think like when we talk about turnout, I think the reviewing my 1-star, the 1-star review video is my favorite that it turns out. I think my favorite one that I put up, that is my favorite one that I forgot I put up one that I did with my brother is the inventing weird plots with my brother. That one was so much fun to edit because I was almost pissing myself laughing at it. We were just like, half of the funny stuff is cut out because it didn't make sense because it was two siblings using inside jokes and then like we get on tangents and I'm like, I need this to be a watchable length, dude. So we're planning on doing a 2.0 of that one because I had so much fun doing it.
Oh, that's exciting.
So that's the way doing videos with my brother always are, though. So
yeah.
That's awesome.
No, like on that note, I loved doing like the reading of the 1-star reviews. It was so much fun, and like it's fun to watch back as like now that it's edited. But oh my god, that was the worst video to edit ever because. First off, Derek talks so slowly. And I was like, I'm going through it, and I was like,
just like when you put like
and then it was like, we get onto these like tangents of like, I think I had like 2.5 hours of raw footage for that video.
Oh man, I wasn't even anywhere.
Like, I ended up putting out books. Yeah, it was yeah. All right, what about you guys?
So I'm gonna do 3 because the idea of picking one's a little too much. But Tarot Picks My TBR was so much fun to do, especially because retroactively the cards end up being scary accurate to the actual plots. And I do not know that much about the books when I go into them. Right. So like it wasn't even one of those like, oh, look at me being on Seekers. Like no, I had no idea like how spot on these are gonna be. So that one was super fun. The reacting to my 5-star prediction, personally, I was amused both by editing and watching it back. And then, like, I found it really fun to both watch and to produce, especially because, like, Gideon the Ninth was one of my 5-star predictions. And if you guys don't know, that was a 2-star book for me that I, like, not a fan of. So, like, when I heard myself do it, it was like a, okay, pass me, all optimistic. That was fun. And then, because I'm more comfortable with some editing, like it's basic editing stuff, but like I'm a grandma when it comes to iMovie, so like feel like I'm just learning some new stuff. The Fairy Tale-a-thon TBR was fun to like do like the Ken Burrs animation, all that other fun stuff. So like kind of learning like where to put those editing tricks and where to like add that stuff, and so those are all super duper fun for me to put out.
I'm so jealous of anyone that has basic decent editing software. Because I have basic, not decent editing software. It's awful. I hate it. You can't do hardly anything.
Meanwhile, I'm over here.
Right, you have like Adobe. You're like this expert.
Literally, I was about to say, I'm like, meanwhile, I'm over here fucking blocking out an entire mirror in every single shot for a whole
I don't have
video.
Any ability to do that.
When I get my new laptop, I'm gonna get Final Cut Pro on it, and I'm like already nervous for the learning curve because like I was like
terrified to change like software because I know it'll end up taking me so much longer to edit a video just to like get through it, and I'm like, I know how to do this. I'm fine.
Right? I'm just mad that I have to like export the little clip to get 2 pictures overlaid at the same time, and I know like in Final Cut, at least I'm pretty sure you can do multiple without having that thing, and that's like the main thing I like really wanted for, which is so pathetic, I know, but I'm like, I don't have the ability or the time or the desire to like export the same 15-second clip 4 times just to get multiple pictures on it.
I just like to be able to like do some like because my editing is so basic because I don't have a lot of options.
Yeah.
Like that is
like I don't even know how to do because you like have a frame around whenever you do like your synopsis on your wrap ups.
Oh,
like, I don't even have that ability.
That's just 2 separate videos though. Like I have a background and then I do a second video level and I size it down. So like there's some stuff that I've been able to figure out like a really ratchet way to do it. But like I know there are easier ways to do like text effects and stuff like that.
Yeah. Oh, I found out this month how to add in my own fonts into iMovie, and that's just been like a game changer.
Yeah.
Nice. We love that.
Because I hate the like default, like the fact that when you're watching a video and you're like, they use iMovie.
Like, there's like 3 effects on iMovie that when like you watch someone else's video, you're like, that's an iMovie effect.
Yep.
I know that effect. No, I mean, I use them too, but like
titled.
Yeah.
Like I know we make jokes about like me having like Premiere and stuff, but like to be honest with you, I learned most of how to do a lot of the things that I did this month. like oh, that whole masking effect, I'm like, I know this is possible and I've done similar things in Photoshop. Let's figure it out. Like I didn't know how to use text in Premiere for the longest time. I could never figure it out. So I finally did it recently.
Nice.
So Merritt, what was your favorite video that you put out this month?
I also have no idea how to pick things because, you know, I'm literally in my identity unable to have made a choice my entire life.
I love that.
So I think it's basically like the first 3 videos that I did, I think are my favorites. So that's the Umbrella Academy video because
I like that one.
There was so much editing that went into that. That's the one that I hid the mirror. And also I was doing text effects. So it looks like they're behind me, but also I spent so much time just like writing the script on that one. So it was a lot of fun. The second one was the LARP video I did, which I had a 2-camera setup for and like pulled up TikToks to make like title cards and stuff, which was just cool. And then the last one is actually the music video I did, which I never intended to put on YouTube. That was supposed to just be for my theater people. And then I was like, you know, if I'm gonna take the time to cover a song and make a video and then make another video of that projected, like if I'm spending all this time on it, I might as well share it. And it's the one that's done the best of the whole month.
Nice.
So it's not the best singing, I know that, but like I'm proud of it because I had like a vision of like what I wanted to do with like an art thing for a long time and I actually made it happen. So yeah.
Very nice. Very nice. So if you guys watching are interested in those videos and you haven't checked them out, I have everybody linked down below in the description. So you should check those out. Check all of their videos out. But you know, they're proud of those ones.
Just check out exclusively the ones that we just talked about.
Yes.
I mean, listen, I can name drop a few other videos because I didn't say. I'm just kidding.
I love Becky's like Twilight Week. That was so much fun to watch because it was just like so cringy.
The pure rage of Eclipse, I think alone deserves like 5 more subs than I got this month. I'm joking. Please don't unsubscribe if you don't like that. No, that one, I got so like I feel like you guys hear me like holding back the anger for some of them. I'm like, okay, dead horse, let's move on. No, that one was fun. That was a really fun week to do though.
Right. It was yeah. That was a fun week.
It was fun. I have my Twilight shirts in the back corner. I meant to like wear them in the video, and like I didn't. And afterwards, I'm like, I brought this thing for nothing. Like I brought like some of my old Twilight merch. Like I had like a clunky bracelet. I showed them my mid-month wrap up a little bit, but
yeah,
relive the good old days.
Let's pretend that did not happen, and we'll just move on. And Midnight Sun didn't, ruin my reading. I think in my video, because I actually really liked it. I ended up really liking doing that video, as much as I hated the book.
Yeah.
Like, I really liked the video of it, but I think I talked about I was like, this book is making me never want to read again.
See, and I love like hearing like your video and then Bethany's video because I definitely had a more positive reading experience. I picked up the same problems you guys, but I had like more fun while reading it, and you
I
guys
think
were
it
like,
comes from like a nostalgia of reading the original book.
I think so too. Like,
I not like the. I mean, I don't remember like really having an attachment to those books.
like it's like fun like watching you. Like, I'm going to throw this book across the room during this review.
This book is the one that's getting yeeting.
It has been yoked.
I've heard like the book sacrifice tag, like every like one you'll sacrifice in fire, Midnight Sun. One you'll use as an umbrella, Midnight Sun. One you're gonna throw across the room, Midnight Sun.
there's a book talk audio that is that's going around right now that talks about they're like, you know, there is a recommendations type of thing. It's like a book that'll make you sad, a book that'll make you happy, and then one of the ones is a book that you want to eat. And I'm like, and everyone is like Midnight Sun.
I love it when I see them actually throw it across the room, like on video. It's like,
I'm like, I want to do that video, but like, I don't want to like throw a book unless it's like throwing it onto my bed.
yeah.
I will throw things when things get really, really good in books, or when things get real like I'm less likely to throw, like, one of the things that I talk about when I'm reading fan fiction, like, because for some reason I usually have like a pen or something when I'm reading fan fiction, and when fan fiction gets really good, I just want to be like throwing things. It's hilarious. I'm just like, and so I don't remember what it was, but I was reading, I was like, I have thrown my pen 3 times reading this fanfic, so you know it's good.
The last time I threw a book was during Catching Fire. Like, so way back in like high school for me. I literally was like halfway through it and I liked it so much at whatever point it was, I just chucked it across the room at 3 a.m. and everyone was like, what the hell?
Thrown a book.
Everything's on my computer now, though. I can't throw my computer.
Yeah, this
I just will shove it further away from me on my bed, especially during TV shows.
I like the closest I've come to wanting to throw a book recently was that one I remember what book it was, but I had like this huge plot twist. When I got to it, I was like one of those like dramatic moments. Right. And the fact that I wasn't vlogging it is so it's like I'm like, why? This is prime content.
I actually, like, going back to that, I have a video idea that I'm going to be doing in September because it was just way too much to do in August.
Yeah.
But I'm going to like basically vlog the process of learning how to book talk.
That would be fun.
Because it's just so different.
I need to learn how to book talk because I don't make that kind of content.
I wanted to do one of those like videos, but like I only film on my phone. I don't have like a secondary camera, so I'm like, there's no like dual perspective.
Yeah, you can't like create the video.
I'll probably try to film on my iPad or something. But like the only problem with that, and I have to figure out what to do, is like if you put TikTok sounds on YouTube, it gets cut really fast.
I see. My 2 favorite ways are when people poorly sing over it or just describe the song. Those are my 2 favorite ways to dump it.
Yeah. The good news is though, is like a lot of the book talk like things are like weird trends that people just like are making up. Like, show me this. Like, so like those ones aren't gonna get like copyrighted. So like those are a little easier too. It's just the music.
I have 2 book talks in mind that I'm gonna make soon, and I don't know if anyone's made them yet because like I try not to look when I have an idea because like everyone has the same idea on TikTok. But like I have a couple of them in mind. Like I feel like they're good. I also feel like they're gonna flop so hard, but like I genuinely find the idea funny.
I say do it. Like half of my ideas, you know what I do? I literally pick an audio, I film it, and then I figure out what the heck it means later. Like I just my drafts right now are a bunch of random videos to trending audios that I like did all the cuts for, and I'm like, I don't know what this means, and then I put text on it and be like, yes, that story post, and then it gets like 400 views in like an hour. I'm like, okay.
All right, so back to the questions. Right now that we're like off, we do this. We get on rabbit trails. It's fine. What is the biggest thing that you've learned this month, either about yourself, about your channel, about technical things? whatever it is? What's the
I
biggest thing?
cannot upload every day. That's what I learned.
It's a good one.
No, joking aside, I genuinely learned some new editing like tricks that make the video look more visually interesting, and also better at the like it doesn't sound so basic, like the time management of like how long realistically does this type of video take to edit, and can I do that tonight, can I do that tomorrow, and kind of getting that like work-life balance now that I'm also working from home. You guys don't see, but 2 days ago I set up my work setup because I just got moved to work from home, so like balancing everything on top of that too. So yeah.
Good.
I think with me, I learned a lot about the fact that, like, yes, I was sick and everything, but I can make an excuse for literally everything. So I need to do the smart thing and have a backlog of videos that are just kind of like evergreen stuff that can keep me moving on those like days or weeks that I don't want to make any content. So it's just like sometime soon I'm going to film a couple that's like, okay, this will get me through like a week, but also here's a few extras in case I decide to not post one day or like I don't have the energy to film. I can just pull one of those out and do that. Because I will be like fine and be like, oh, I'll just make today's video and then tomorrow I'll deal with like filming a couple more, and then tomorrow comes and I'm sick and I'm like, well, oops.
Exactly.
For me, I think it's just mostly been about learning. I've learned a few things about my editing program and ways that I can do things. That even though it's like the hard, maybe probably not the hardest way, but it's really annoying to have to figure out like some of the back channels and do this and do that. But like figuring out more about like what I like in my editing style and what I want my videos to be like. So I think that's something that helps. And then I figured out like I'm doing a channel rebrand come August, I think. I don't know what I'm doing about my intro, but but it's one of those things that I'm like,
reminded you.
Yeah, I just was like, oh, and that had half of that is just like me finding a color palette that I'm like, I want to redo this. That I absolutely love. That like it's not quite what I want right now, but I know how I want to get to where I want to go, and so I've got options. That makes sense.
Yeah, no, I changed my entire aesthetic on August 2nd, which is a great time to do that.
Love the inspo in the background too.
Oh yeah,
like the plants in the background.
Right. No, like I also like did like because I changed my bedroom and stuff, and I was like, oh, I'm just gonna go with it. But yeah, no, I like changed up like my outro, my intro is all like my intro is like a variation of what it used to be because I still kind of liked the style, but that's when I found out how to do my own fonts on iMovie, and like I was like watching YouTube videos all day on like how to do certain things. But I also like learned how to do some green screen stuff so that I can like add other things to specifically my vlogs, because like I feel like those get really boring. So that's been fun. But
I think the most. Oh, go ahead, finish.
Oh no, you're good. I think the biggest thing that I learned, kind of like talking like what Merritt said, like I'll make an excuse for anything. I learned to push past those because I am like procrastinator in chief. Like that's like I'm the type of person that I'm like, oh, it's fine. Like, I have 2 hours tomorrow. I'll just film that then. So like pushing past that and being like, no, I have 2 hours to film now. Then I can like do something else tomorrow. And that I think has been like the biggest, and that's always been the struggle for me, that I'm like, oh, Saturday I'm just not going to do anything because I have enough time to film on Sundays. But then like I don't know what it is about like every person in my neighborhood decides to mow their lawn on Sundays. So then there's like lawnmowers in the background of my audio that I just can't get rid of. So I need like I'm hoping that it'll be more of a consistent thing now to like be less of a procrastinator.
I definitely second that. And also like going through with like the video plans. Like I have now, I think Allie was the one that I got this technique from. But like I have like sticky notes of like video ideas I can kind of like move around if needed. But now it's also better to kind of like not only visualize but be like more realistic of like, okay, is this video not getting done because it's a bigger project or because I'm lazy? Like which one is it?
Yep.
That's smart though. That's smart to figure out why you're not doing it, because sometimes it's like I had a couple of video ideas that I replaced because I was like, this is too big for me to do right now. One of them required me to write a script. I was like, I don't want to write. I hate writing scripts on the best days. So
Well, and then there's also like when you get to that point, there's a lot of reasons why, you said like, are you lazy? Is it a big project? Or is it just not a good idea?
Yeah. Like it's better on paper, but it needs to be like marinated a bit.
Right.
Yeah.
Or if it's just, like, my editing skills are not at the point where I can, Brooks and Lala could do this really well. I cannot.
Right. Or I had one where it was like a read 5. It's a secret project, like secret TBR project. I haven't even mentioned the books on other TBRs, but I just ran out of time to read one of the books. I'm like, do I post it with 4 out of the 5 books or do I just push it back a month?
Right. Yeah. And I always hate, the secret TBR projects are interesting. Like I have one coming up in September that like I've hinted at, but I'm always afraid of like the bigger booktubers doing something similar.
That just happened to me. A video I had, Chandler just posted. I'm like, damn it.
Yeah. And so then you're like, I've been thinking about this for months. I obviously didn't copy this other person, but now if I post it a week later, it's gonna look like I'm copying. Fortunately, my project is a pretty like broad scheme. Like I'm not gonna be the only person doing it that week, but it's like it's not gonna look like I copied somebody, if that makes sense.
That's why you put dates and things. That's what I did with when I did my small booktubers series or started it. Like I acknowledged that it was also partly based on what somebody else was doing, but like the fact that I have dates, I'm like, they're gonna know that I thought of this before someone else did it. I'll acknowledge people if we have a similar idea, but I don't. Just like when I did the Lightning Thief musical tag, I'm like, I've seen that there is a tag somewhere over here. I'm gonna link it down below, but that's not like the questions were completely different from the questions that I had thought up, so I wanted to do this one.
Right. Or like when I get posts, like eventually I'm still gonna do the one that I did like elephant in the room. I know Chandler just posted her videos down below. I've been marinating on this one for a little bit though, and then also like watches it. Are we doing it differently? It's like so similar ideas, but
and that's the great thing about BookTube, because you can do something similarly to someone else, and it's not going to be the same video in the slightest because you're using different books, or you're looking at the books differently. You're gonna commentate on them differently. Like that's the nice thing about a book review is that most people are going to see it the same way.
Well, that's part of why it took so long for me to do the most recent episode of Read the Book, which is a Lightning Thief, and it's because someone else last year had done comparing the Lightning Thief to the movie, and it's a friend, so like it would have been cool, but I was just like, well, now I was already kind of like on the fence about doing it, and I didn't have time to read the book. I was like, you know what, we can put this off, have some time go by so it doesn't. But like I was still planning on doing it.
Or not, like especially if you're friends with them, like you're not stepping in their space too.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, because she's also a small booktuber, and the last thing I want to do is make things harder for smaller booktubers.
Yeah, exactly.
Like I don't care about the big booktubers. Like they're fine; they'll take care of themselves. I mean, I do care about them because I'm subscribed to several of you, so like I love you. But like, I'm not going to worry about them in the same way that I'm going to worry about people who are small booktubers, because I know that we have it so much harder just getting content out there. Right. So
all right. So kind of on the same line, what is something that you're proud of that you accomplished this month?
Posted as many videos as I did.
Yeah, I was about to say the fact that I posted at all. I literally had been gone for how long?
Right.
Since November?
No, exactly. It's like I look back and like June was a barren wasteland, July was a barren wasteland, August actually has like even missing though. I still like posted twice this week, and it's like, okay, this is like this is okay, this is fine, and like showing that like I can make time to post. And like, yeah, I didn't post on my blog, I didn't post on Instagram, I didn't read as much as I wanted to, but it's like, okay, cool, well now I'm not posting a video every day, so wean it back to 2 or 3 a week. Now all of this other stuff can get introduced and there is the time to do it, so find a new excuse.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing, like, you know, if we've been posting, even if, you know, we missed some here and there, the amount of work that we put in, we're going to go into September at 2 to 3 a week, and you're going to be like, I have so much time.
Wow, look at this.
I'm like, I only need to edit 2 or 3 times a week now.
Exactly.
What?
Right? Like, mass filming on Sunday is so much easier because like I'm now filming only like 2 or 3 videos, and it's very easy to plan that short-term content that like, all right, well, I want to do these 7, but I can't do number 6 until I do this one. So now it's just like, all right, TBR, wrap up, haul, boom, let's go. Yeah. Next week. Okay, we're gonna do a vlog. Okay, make sure we film vlog clips. Let's import and edit those as we go. Boom, done. It's like, it's gonna be so nice.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm just proud that I put out 15 videos in 1 month, and that like I tried new things with them. Like I think I'm still figuring out like how to edit and make things interesting, and there's definitely a lot of stuff I'm going to be looking into and doing, like improving as I continue on with my channel, because that's one of the things I'm like, my editing is kind of boring and basic, and like, yes, I have a very boring basic editing program, but there are still ways that like things that I can be doing better, like be doing jump cuts better than I'm doing jump cuts, like that kind of thing. And like maybe scripting a little bit better than I have been. So, yeah.
What about you, Merritt?
Oh, I was saying that like just the fact that I posted at all, like I don't know how many videos I posted this month, but just like before that, I literally had been gone since November. I decided to come back right before I think it was like in the middle of quarantine, and I was like, this is not the time for me to be coming back. Like Black Lives Matter is happening. I want to leave the floor for everybody else. So I just kept sharing people's stuff on Instagram instead. So like coming back now has been great for me because it's like, oh, I can make content and I do like this. It is something I want to do. So I've enjoyed coming back at this point. I think that's what I'm like proudest of, is just posting it all, because it also meant that I got roped into a bunch of stuff for the end of the year. So I won't leave.
There you go. I'm really proud of like the way that my channel is looking right now. Like the aesthetic, I have a color scheme that's going through the end of the year, because like I've always like changed out colors every month, so like my thumbnails look kind of cohesive, but they were just like so like the colors were so random. So now like I'm gonna have like a kind of a theme that kind of went through a few months, so that way like if you scroll through even from month to month, it's gonna look cohesive, which I'm excited about. And I'm also proud of the fact that like I put out enough content that like the content didn't look stale. Does that make sense? Like, so like at the beginning of the month, I was thinking I wasn't going to have enough ideas. And now like I not only had enough ideas, I still have ideas.
Right.
I have ideas for September that I'm excited about. And it wasn't something that like it was, they're bigger kind of long form videos that I couldn't have done in August, but like nothing on my channel this month looks like, it might have felt like, but it doesn't look like I was trying to just throw something out and it was a filler. You know what I mean? Like, they were videos that I had wanted to do, and they're I don't want to say like every single one of them I'm 100% proud of, but like they don't look bad and they look like I look into them. So that's what I'm excited about.
Yeah, no, you mentioned the thumbnail. I've been playing with PicMonkey since April, I think, and I think I finally kind of mastered not only like the aesthetic and the color scheme, but like when to overlay and when not to overlay. And so I'm much happier with my thumbnails, especially this past month. I'm playing with different things and feeling more comfortable with that software instead of just doing like, scroll through and all the thumbnails start to look the same after a while. Like now, like I feel like they look cohesive, but you can definitely tell like the feel of one video versus next based off of its thumbnail.
Yeah. Cool. All right. Well, final question, and you guys can feel free to elaborate as long as you want. This is the time to like promote yourself. What is something that you're going to be either carrying over or like something that's coming to your channel in September?
Okay. Well, I am finally back with unboxings. That was kind of like where my channel first started to take off, is that I'm subscribed to Owl Crave, Fairy Loot, and now a new Witchy unboxing for anyone that's interested in pagan or related items. So I'm now that I'm better at like filming, getting them up in a timely fashion. Those are coming. I don't know if it's coming October or September, but I just commissioned a new spooky intro, and I will also have one from the same artist for winter. I just got back my spooky intro, and I'm obsessed with it. It looks so good, and so I'm so excited for people to see that. And I am trying to have some fun content themed around that. So that's all coming. And then I have lots of secret TBRs in the works. Some of them are coming sooner rather than later. So I'm very, very excited for new stuff and new fresh ideas to like make my channel less boring.
Nice. I'm going to be continuing on, hopefully, with the Read the Book series. I should have put that on my TBR. Oh, well. Anyways, I'm going to be continuing on with that because I do want to get back into doing that because I enjoy that, like reading the book and like analyzing and talking about why they're doing it. And then that 1-star review video that we did, I think I mentioned this on Marriage Channel last night. I was sitting there like doing that. I was like, I actually want to do more of this and I want to be more like analytical about it. Like sit down and be like, okay, what are valid complaints that made this a 1-star? Like, what are some of the commonalities between all of these 1-star reviews and are they valid? Like, which ones are valid? Which ones are stupid? Which ones are racist? Like that kind of thing. So that's going to be fun because I'm going to be rereading some of my favorite books. And then I don't know how much else is going to be happening. I'm definitely going to still be doing like read with me. So I'd like to do one of those a month. But I'm not sure if I'm going to be doing a lot of lives at this point, just because I only have so much time on StreamYard. And I also have other things that I have to do with StreamYard. So.
Right. Because they give you what is it? 20 hours?
I think they get like 10 or 20 hours. But like the thing is that when I can do them, it's just so like stressful to like get back from work. And then I have to eat out that day. Like I don't have a choice. So Thursdays just weren't working out for me. So I'm going to have to think of a different day for when I go back in and I'm doing NaNoWriMo. So.
So for me, I'm doing the Not Safe for Workathon. I'm now one of like the co-hosts for this iteration of it for all of September. So that should be interesting. I have a friend from college who now has a bookstagram, Cerulean Stories, who's joining me for a Magician's Buddy Read live stream on my channel at some point. We haven't picked a day for it yet. But I'm also going to kind of start doing more like the LARP video, the first LARP video I did that's like really kind of broken down like info on how to do like some nerdy things that I like, but also the Novel Talks thing. So like the Umbrella Academy, I'm trying to pick the next topic I want to like dissect and compare the books to the media because I liked it so much and my energy was like way too high and I want to make more of those things again. So those will be coming as well. And that's kind of where I'm at.
Oh, and I forgot to mention, I'm starting a book club. We kind of trial ran it through August at work, so that's continuing on.
Nice.
Ooh, exciting. So I have a couple of things in the works for September. I have a secret TBR project. I'm still doing my categories, which will go on Tuesday, which is exciting. And then I'm planning. I want to start doing some type of like read-in, kind of what you were doing with your like generalized get ready or get done.
Yeah, get stuff done.
There we go. I want to start doing that because I feel like they're like A, really popular, and B, I read so much when I'm on one or when I'm like
Yeah.
so I'm with the amount of books that are on my TBR for this month, I'm gonna need some motivation. So I'm gonna try to do a couple of those, and then I have a BookTube 101 series that's gonna be starting in September.
That's gonna be fun.
That is gonna be because there's a lot of like YouTube 101 series, but BookTube is such a different beast.
Yeah.
Like what works for YouTube does not always work for BookTube.
Yep.
Right.
So I want to try to do like from the very beginning of like why you should start a BookTube channel, like you know the very basics to do things like your thumbnails and then even things like you know how to do reviews on Goodreads and how to do Instagram, how to do like how to try to get you know arcs from NetGalley and like Edelweiss and things like that. So.
And I think it's good to do it now because there's some that have been up. Like I know Emma Books did some, but a lot of her stuff was like from 3, 4, 5 years ago, and so much has changed in the book community just within like the last like 6 months to a year. So I was like, all right, let's go do this. But now, like if you're starting today, not 5 years ago.
Yeah. Because if you look up how to start a BookTube channel, I think even if you like filter it out to recent, there's a couple from like maybe like I think. There was one that was done like pre-quarantine or like right when quarantine was starting, that they were like, oh, we're gonna do you know weekly series on this, and then like that's the last video that channel has. And I was like,
wow,
mood.
That's not how you do it.
I forgot to mention 2 things. First, I have Vaultathon coming up 3rd week of September. But also, I'm going to be doing another virtual writing retreat that weekend right before Vaultathon starts.
You're crazy.
I am, but my parents are going to be out of town that weekend, and I don't have to worry about dealing with them while I'm trying to write. And I get so much more work done, apparently, when I can move myself around and I'm not stuck in my room.
That's true. That is true.
So, and like that's not an option necessarily when they are home because my only other like real space has been taken over by my parents.
That makes sense.
So, like
the timing of that is.
I'm like, well, this is terrible timing, but at the same time, like I don't want to do it September 11th weekend because that's really close and I don't have people for it yet.
Fair.
So I was like, we'll just like going into Vaultathon, we'll just do it then. And like, I'll just have everything ready for Vaultathon ahead of time because it doesn't take a lot to prep that.
Yeah. As long as you have like your Twitter stuff and everything.
Yeah.
So. All right. Well, like I said, everybody is linked down below. We're coming up on an hour, so I figured that would be a good time to cut this off. But do you guys have any final thoughts? Would you be willing to do this again in April?
We'll talk about April, maybe August. We'll talk about March or April. But yeah, I would do this again. This was fun. I also feel more bad like now for doing this.
The planet, that might be better.
I feel like I would, if I had time to plan it for April, like that would, even on top of Camp Nano, because I'm already going to be pre-filming probably so that I can do Camp Nano if I do it. Like, that's one of the things I consistently am good at pre-filming is NaNoWriMo when I'm going into it. So
I was going to say, I think because April is Camp Nano and like we know this months in advance now, it'd be easier to actually like pre-film and be ready for it.
Not lose our minds.
Right.
Rather than
not try to do it 3 days before.
Yeah, no, I think that like being more prepared, knowing really like just what the commitment of a video every single day genuinely feels like, because like it's easy to be like, oh yeah, it's 31 videos, but like you don't realize behind the scenes what does that actually mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, no, this was fun though. I would do it again.
Hopefully I have a camera by then and I'm not on my phone.
Well, so April is what, like 7 months away, 6 months away?
A while. It's 2021. We may not even make it there at this point. The aliens are coming, or an asteroid, or the kaiju. I don't know.
Here's the thing. On New Year's Eve, when the ball starts dropping, everyone needs to yell Jumanji, and we'll be fine. I saw this thing and it was like everyone did that, and then it was then there was a black screen and it said level 2.
Oh,
no success.
Y2K was actually just when 2021 happens. So like we just had the calendars wrong, you know?
Yeah. The Mayans predicted correctly. They just were wrong about the date.
I mean, with the whole Gregorian calendar switch, is technically the 2012 the Mayans were referring to. So I mean,
there you go. I don't know.
Hopefully, we're just in the simulation and it decided to glitch this year. So
2020, it's not binary.
That's it. All right. Well, thank you guys so much for coming along this journey with me this month.
Thank you for inviting us along this journey.
It's been a process and a challenge, but I think we've learned a lot. And I think that every one of us, like, our channel is better than it was August 1st.
I hope yes.
So, and that's, I mean, at the end of the day, that's what we were looking at. There's only so much that we can do with subscriber counts and views and impressions and things like that. Like, that's beyond our control. But I think from what we could do and what we could control, everyone is like astronomically in a better place than they were at the beginning of the month. So thank you guys, and take a breather, a relaxer for the and
let's get the TBRs up first, then we'll relax.
There you go. All right. Well, thank you guys, everybody, for watching. Like I said, everybody's channel is linked down below. Go check them out, and we will see you guys next time. Bye.